Welcome to Pop Culture Fuck, Marry, Kill. We're your hosts. I'm Brandy Johnson.
And I'm Kristen Gunn.
Every episode, we break down the good, the best, and the absolute trash in pop culture, and we decide which one is our fuck, marry, or our kill of the week.
Now, as you kids know, we won't ever be fuck, marry, or killing any people because we are obviously classy bitches, but all of the stuff we're consuming way too much of.
It's the classic game you know and love, but this time it's got a spicy pop culture twist.
So, before we get into it, Brandy, do we have any follow-ups or emails this week?
We don't. Nobody called us. Nobody left us a voicemail. Nobody shouted out. And I do not have any follow-ups for once. It's a rare occasion.
Yeah, I don't either. I've been consuming a lot of new stuff, so I'm really excited to jump right into it. So, Brandy, what is your fuck of the week?
Okay, so this might be old news to some of y'all, but it was new news to me. And the reason it's my fuck is because it is a thing that scratches a very particular itch and it makes me feel so happy. Like it just brings me so much joy, and it's a short little thing, relatively speaking. I mean, I say relatively speaking because short is relative in this scenario. And this is Britain's Best Home Cook on Hulu.
I don't even know what this is.
I didn't think that you did. Otherwise, we would have already talked about it by now. So Britain's Best Home Cook has 2 seasons on Hulu, and they're 8 episodes each, which is kind of what I meant by short. I know that 16 episodes sounds like a lot, but like for people like us, I feel like an 8-episode season is something short. But basically it's Great British Bake Off, but it's for just cooking regular food. It's like by the same people. Mary Berry is one of the hosts. I think she left Bake Off and she went and did this show. And it's hosted by this personality from the UK called, her name is Claudia Winkleman. And she's got kind of a Mel and Sue vibe, but not quite as like absurd kind of funny. She's just like kind of low-key comedy, and she's a great host. And then it's the 2 other judges outside of Mary Berry are these 2 other British judges. The first season it's 2 guys. The second season it's one of those same guys, and then actually this woman who I'm going to forget her name, but she is famous for sort of training under the tutelage of Gordon Ramsay, and she's like a Michelin star chef in her own right now. But it's perfect. It's Great British Bake Off, but they're not making cakes. Sometimes they make cakes, but it's more like make your best brunch, make your best seafood dish. Like it's home cooking, and it's quaint and adorable and perfect. And the first season, I mean, it's both seasons, but definitely the first season was before they like got a lot of money. And so it was a little more low key, adorable and charming. And if you think Great British Bake Off is like the nicest people who are just like beyond chummy with each other, who like hug and cry. Like if you think that that's like saccharine, you have seen nothing until you watch this first group of people on season 1, because it is like they become so close that it's like they've known each other for 50 years. It's unbelievable. Anyway, it makes me very, very happy, and we're almost done with the second season. And it was a happy surprise. I didn't know it existed, and I happened upon it, and I'm just really glad that it exists, and I wanted to share it with you all.
So it's not too cloying. It soothes your cold, dead heart.
It does, and it does 100%.
Okay.
Wait,
all right.
Do you find Great British Bake Off cloying?
No. But like when you're like it's sweeter. Like I imagine sweeter would be too much.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, I definitely think, at least for the first season, it's different in the second one, but I guess I should explain a little bit. What makes it, I think, different than Bake Off is that they all, outside of the kitchen competition, they all live together in a house. So it's a little bit like, like Big Brother or whatever, and that like they're with each other, then they go to the set and they cook, then they go back home, then they, so they're always together, which is not the case on Great British Bake Off. So I think that adds to the kind of camaraderie. But yeah, I don't find it cloying at all. It's just like beyond insane to me to watch these European people be so kind to each other, because like I just can't picture a show like that existing here in America. One, because we're always playing for money, and like the editing and all of that is always so dramatic and catty and backstabby and dramaed to the nth degree. I just can't imagine a show where like contestants compete for a prize and they're just really nice and they help each other and they hug and they cry when one person, like, it's just not like that. And to watch these people just be so nice to each other is like, oh yeah, he shared his rolling pin with her and he didn't have to. Like, that's so nice. So I recommend it.
Okay. I will dip a toe in the water with ready to cure my cold dead heart, but also maybe a little bit of skepticism that that's even possible anymore. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope it is. All right, Kristen, what is your fuck of the week?
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, and if you haven't seen it, then I will show you the trailer.
Okay.
Have you seen the trailer for the new HBO Max series that's coming out on September 4th called Unpregnant?
No.
Oh, good. So buckle up.
Okay.
Fine, you're fine. You always use a condom, so you're fine. Hey, dude.
I've got this thing.
If a young woman needs a procedure, is that possible? Where's the closest facility? There's an Albuquerque in Missouri? The law won't let me get one without my parents knowing. I know we're not close anymore.
True.
And I'm the last person that you want to help.
Accurate.
But I need your help, and I don't have anywhere else to go.
Go where?
To get the thing, the procedure.
So you're hiding this from your man, your best friend,
Hey, girl.
and your Jesus freak parents, and you thought, why not ask Bailey Butler to drive me hundreds of miles? Because she probably doesn't have anything to do anyway.
Kind of, yes.
Bailey, come on.
I'm just messing with you. You're right, I do not have anything going on.
So I recognized after watching that trailer again that I misspoke. The premiere date on HBO Max for Unpregnant is September 10th, not September 4th. But I am so jazzed about this show because the universe absolutely needs another positive, not dramatic, overwrought abortion story that is the most interesting, fun way to get into a female road trip that I've seen since Thelma and Louise. So I am here for all of it and I cannot wait.
Oh my God, that looked amazing. Like, that was like just hitting every little sort of like nerve ending in my brain of things that I like and I want to see, but I didn't know that it was out there. I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, so I've got it. I actually learned how to save it in my HBO Max interface. And also on September 10th, it's just going to pop up and be like, here you are.
Nice.
So the first week of September is going to be really good because I'll have Mulan and then I'll have Unpregnant. And the world's looking up from there.
Dang, September, all things considered, for us, media-wise, looking up.
Yep.
Cool, good share. I'm going to watch that. Okay, Kristen, let's roll into what you're marrying this week. If Unpregnant is your fuck, what is in your marital bed?
So I think I say this too much. Like this is my new favorite show on TV.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go a little deeper, even though it is my new favorite show. And I would totally marry just the show. I'm going to go do a nuanced marry and say, this is my new favorite title sequence within any show ever. And also it is my new favorite show. Maybe we'll see how it ends. I've only watched the first couple of episodes. So it might be that it fizzles out, but I don't think it will. It is amazing. Have you watched Babylon Berlin?
No.
Have you
What
even
is
heard of
that?
it?
I think I've heard of it. It's like a spy show.
No, it's
Cool. Then I haven't heard of it. I love it.
so yeah. Not only I'd never heard of it, and I thought I might be a dummy. It's German, so you have to read subtitles. It's made in Germany, all German actors. The production value on the show, every episode looks like a feature film. Like, I think every episode has more money behind it than fucking Game of Thrones the last season, right? Like,
Wow.
it is spectacular to look at, like just this orgy for the eyes. And then on top of it, the plot is super interesting. And like, I couldn't even tell you what the plot is. It's not a spy movie, or it's not a spy show, because it's like a true ensemble cast of like 15 plus characters, and they're all doing different things in Berlin in 1920. And so like one of the characters is a cop, and it also follows some like revolutionaries and things like that. But then there's also like normal people, right?
Mm.
And I think I imagine that will all interweave into like a bigger show. So maybe after there's 3 seasons also. So hooray, when you like talk about getting into a show that is fucking amazing, and then you can watch more than one season of 8 episodes, right? Like this, at least I'm going to chew through it really fast, but it'll take me a couple weeks. So since you haven't seen, don't even watch the trailer. Like, here's the thing. I watched a couple trailers because on the off chance that you hadn't seen it or heard of it at all, I was going to show you a trailer, but the trailers actually give too much away. I think this is a show you should go into not knowing like I didn't know anything at all, and was just you're fucking punched in the teeth over and over again with how awesome it is.
That has Kristen written all over it. I can tell why you like it. Is this one of those shows where do you watch the intro or do you skip intro whenever you're watching it?
Well, that's the whole intro is like 20 seconds. So like, it's kind of like the Stranger Things intro, right? Like, it's not too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watch it, and I said you didn't need to hear the audio, but actually go back and rewatch it later with the audio because it's fun. Or just watch the show and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, no, totally.
No, there was a decisive, like, first episode, I was like, wow, this show's really good. And I can't believe I've never heard of it before, even though it's like a German show. Like, it's so good, it should transcend that. And then the second episode ends in this like giant crescendo, and it's only the fucking second episode, and it is every bit as big a spectacle, and not in a dramatic way, like in a fantastical way. It is every big as a spectacle as like when fucking Daenerys like burns down the entire Red Keep, except it's like it's not happy, but it's just like a fantastical montage. But like the bigness of it, like the scope of this entire show is mind-blowing to me. Like, there's one shot in particular that's not in this scene that I'm talking about, where it's just a police chief talking to everyone in the police force, and they must have had like 500 extras for 2 shots. And it's not, I mean, if it's digitally done, it's done very well, but it would still be very expensive to even do what they did digitally. And it's like, this level of scope and detail is usually, even in really expensive shows, like I keep on mentioning Game of Thrones because it's probably the most expensive show I can think of off the top of my head. Even then, it's still done judiciously, right? Like, they put all the money in the last or the second to last episode, right? And it's building to that. This is like there's a scene in a subway that's like 2 characters talking for maybe a minute and a half, where like the entire subway is just like mustard yellow, and like it's got all the Art Deco fonts and stuff, and it's amazing. But like it's just kind of like a scene of some dialogue that could have been in like a broom closet,
Sure.
Anyway, that is my Mary. Everyone should marry the show. It is the best show.
Well, I'm really thrilled that you showed me 2 things that I didn't know even existed. And now I have 2 more things to add to the very short list of things that I am able to consume new content wise.
And what a treat for me. I never get to tell you about new things. This is finally a two-way relationship. It's exciting.
I'm pumped.
All right, Brandy, what is your Mary of the week?
Okay, so I'm marrying a brand new show that just premiered on Netflix on August 14th, and that show is called Teenage Bounty Hunters. Have you heard of this?
That was actually going to be my fuck, but then I decided I wanted to talk about something new I was excited about. Yeah, totally here for it. Tell me more.
Okay, so Teenage Bounty Hunters is a new show on Netflix, and it's basically about, for those of you that haven't watched it, these set of twin teenage girls who are from a very wealthy, well-to-do family, raised in private Christian schools, very good girls, and they find themselves in need of some cash and essentially accidentally crossing paths with a local bounty hunter. And they find that they're kind of good at it. Hijinks ensue, and they end up sort of moonlighting as pseudo bounty hunters for this guy to make extra cash while they continue to be, good Christian daughters and go to this private school and, try to walk the line of what their parents and society expects of 2 teenage girls in, I think it's in Georgia. And anyway, so that's the plot. But the reason why it's my Mary is because it is such a delicious recipe of so many things that you wouldn't expect from a show like this. First of all, the casting is pitch perfect. Like, I love when I watch a show or a movie and like the casting just is completely unparalleled, and the show wouldn't be the same without the casting. The 2 teenagers that it stars are Angelica Betty Fellini and Maddie Phillips. Maddie Phillips basically looks like Cara Delevingne, but like less severe, and I find her more pleasing to look at. And also she's a good actress. So there's that. But there's also other people in the show that you might recognize from being that guy or that lady and a bunch of stuff, and they're all just so well done. The world building that they have done to set up this community of pretty white, very Christian, talking like big old C Christian, private school, a la Saved, is like, it's just so scrumptious because like I know places like that. I know people like that. I didn't grow up in a city exactly like that, but it was probably like a little bit like that, and so, all the guys go hunting on the weekends, the moms have book club and Tupperware parties, and, everything's perfectly manicured, and but they can't miss, tea time or tennis time, and they have Bible study and all that good stuff. And, they hammer into these girls like drinking is bad, smoking is bad, sex is bad, like all these things are horrible. And their daughters, I think what I like the most about it is that they are good kids. They're smart, they do well in school, they do a bunch of extracurriculars, like they can take care of themselves. But the line that they walk, both the girls themselves and the tone of the show, between like totally respecting the decorum that they're supposed to have as like good Christian teenage girls, and then also like sort of bucking some of those traditions because they know that like they're sort of outdated and silly, or like not rooted in sort of bad ideas. Like, it's a very, very fine line to walk that so earnestly, but the show does it so well. Like, they're really, really earnest people, these girls, but like they also know that like they should be able to make decisions for themselves, like having underage sex, and that should mean that they're going to go to hell. And they have like really thoughtful conversations. Also, it's really fucking funny. Like, it's really funny. I mean, I was cackling throughout the first episode, and I was like, oh, this is like, pump this shit into my veins, because like the humor is like borderline farcical. Like, it's just such a good kind of humor that they have, and I find both of the leads just so fucking funny. And also there's like cutting like commentary thrown in, just like boop, just sort of slipped in and like conversations about race. You know, there's a storyline about this woman going around and cutting off the heads of Confederate statues, and it's all like very timely and current, but it's the way it's sort of like just sort of like hidden beneath all the other delicious little layers that the show has going on. It feels like totally perfect and nuanced in every single way. It doesn't feel contrived at all. Yeah, I just like it's satire, it's smart, it's hilarious, it's earnest. I cannot get enough of it. I've only watched I think half or 3/4 of the season, so I still have a few left. But I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, I think I'm maybe 2 episodes in, maybe 3. And I think for me, of the episodes I've seen, my 2 favorite moments are they go into like twin communication mode, which sounds like hokey if you haven't seen it, but you know how like there's always like twins have their own language or twins can like communicate on a different level, and like when they need to have an aside with each other about something, they will have this like long fast dialogue to suss it out, but they do a great job of shooting it in a way that you are to understand that this happened in a split second in real time, right?
Yes.
You know, and they were able to communicate, you know, what you and I would talk about in 5 or 7 minutes in 5 or 7 seconds. And
Yes.
I love that. I love that way of approaching, you know, the twin communication link. 1, and then 2, I think the moment that most embodies like the nuance they are able to paint with these women of being, you know, good young Southern you know, Christian girls, but also kind of badass and hardcore in a believable way, like not in an unbelievable way, is when the very first episode they get into a car accident, and then the person they get into a car accident with ends up being the person that this other bounty hunter is chasing. But before the bounty hunter comes on the scene, I forget what happens, but the nicer twin, the blonde twin, is pulls her shotgun on the guy in the car, and the way that she wields the shotgun, she knows her way around guns, right? And then when the bounty hunter comes on the scene and he doesn't believe that these 2 pretty young things are, you know, bounty hunters, as they've now decided they're going to pretend to be, she rattles off all this information about all of her guns and her, you know, that she got from her daddy. And it's believable that these cute young girls could pack heat and have these guns, based on the culture and the times that we live in. And then just the way that it's played is just, it's masterfully done. So
yes. Oh my God.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That made me laugh so hard. Because again, like we both know people that are like that. And, you know, it, like you said, it sounds really absurdist, like the plot of the show, like teenagers pretending to be bounty hunters, but like, it's weirdly realistically painted. Like I find everything that they get into like hilarious, and like, I believe that, you know, like it's just really, really well done. And, I highly recommend watching it. I think, yeah, I can't get enough of it. Also, I think it was created by a woman, which is awesome. Some of the episodes were written by women, if not all of them. And, you know, I want more of that. Also, like, there's just things in it that are just too perfect. Like the doinky boyfriend who's just like so darn earnest and, you know, just loves Jesus, but like, you know, can't add 2 and 2 together if you laid it out for him, you know, like everybody knows that guy. I went to high school with that guy, like, you know, like throws the football, plays the guitar, everybody loves him, but man, that guy's dumb. Like, it's just like, and the guy's like so perfectly cast too, that like, you might think he's a bad actor, but it's like, he's actually doing a really good job of being that specific kind of doinkhead. And, yeah, it's just perfect. Also, the gag about like smoking being bad throughout the whole series is like cracking me up every time they mention it. They're like, smoking is so bad, and it's like they're like finding criminals, but like they see people smoke and they're like, smoking is bad and it can kill you. And I'm just like, this is what I mean by that sort of like double-sided earnestness and like hilarity. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad that you've watched it, and I can't wait to finish it. So that is my Mary for this week.
Oh yeah, it came on Netflix, and Netflix was like, "Oh, this is your new show." It was like,
Yeah.
"Here you
Yes.
go. We know the algorithm says this is for you." What are you going to kill this week, Brandy?
All right. So if we had recorded this maybe last week, it would have been a little more timely. And my fuck and my Mary probably both would have been WAP or Wet Ass Pussy by Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. But because we're recording it now, I think we can all assume still obsessed with WAP. I think it's a fucking jam. Video is just like living in my brain. So I won't bore you with details with that. What I am going to kill this week, though, is the continued insanely stupid conversation around WAP, and all of the unsolicited thought pieces and tweets and articles and listicles from men who decided it was their time to give a good hard look at whether or not WAP was truly a step forward, or what it was doing to feminism or females. For example, Angie Stanton, she's a U.S. House candidate for Georgia, she tweeted, "The Democrats support Cardi B, a Bernie Sanders spokesman, telling our daughters to be freaks and whores, parentheses, WAP, because they know promiscuous, reckless sex leads to unwanted pregnancy, which leads to aborted babies, which leads to organ harvesting, and less Black people in America."
Oh my God. And she's also a character on Teenage Bounty Hunters, right?
Yeah, 100%. Another tweet is from Deanna Lorraine. She says, "Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion just set the entire female gender back by 100 years with their disgusting and vile WAP song." And then one of my favorites, James P. Bradley, he's also a U.S. House candidate, I think for California. He tweeted, "Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are what happens when children are raised without God and without a strong father figure. Their new song, The WAP, parentheses, which I heard accidentally, made me want to pour holy water in my ears, and I feel sorry for future girls if this is their role model." Those are all, maybe old news to you. They still make me laugh / seethe with rage that I can't hardly stand it. But something that came out, I think yesterday, maybe. Do you remember Russell Brand?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Mr. Perry?
Yes. So he's like a total loser, has been at this point. He took it upon himself to release a 17-minute op-ed, if you will, analysis, I think he calls it, of WAP, and kind of what his take is on how it affects feminism, because we all asked for Russell Brand's take on WAP and also feminism. 17 minutes, by the way, and he goes on to say his thesis is essentially, WAP, is it a feminist masterpiece or is it porn? And then he goes on to sort of say things, obviously incredibly controversial, by saying that it sort of sets women back. He doesn't know if it's progress for women. He never once mentions the fact that it is created by two women of color, and how revolutionary it is that they created this anthem when, rap, hip hop, but lots of music in general has historically always been created with the male gaze in mind, and women are never encouraged to sort of harness their own sexuality and their own desires. But when it comes to, especially Black women doing this, everyone's got to have an opinion about it. And so he feels like it sets us back. He says that it's potentially controversial. He also thinks that sort of the fact that they're doing it They're doing it to emulate men because women can't possibly be of their own agency to sort of do their own thing without emulating men. He refers to Margaret Thatcher as a brilliant politician, but says the values she extolled, espoused, and conveyed were male values. She was a woman man. He goes on to say incredibly weird things about why this sort of sets women back and why it's, potentially poor and blah, blah, blah. And, I could probably talk a whole episode about this because Russell Brand can go fuck himself in a dark hole, but this just sort of like brings to light.
He probably fucks himself in dark holes a lot, Brandy.
Well, to be fair, you're right. But I think it is mind numbing, the sort of conversation coming out about this song and the video, the attacks on Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. It's just, heaven forbid there's a song about the male equivalent of like all the songs that exist about getting your fucking dick hard and like, fucking whatever you want and getting whatever you want and all that stuff. And yeah, it just makes me really mad. And the song is a fucking bop, and it's clever and smart and sexy, and like the video is totally badass. And we need more of that, and people like Russell Brand and James P. Bradley can go fall off a fucking cliff.
I'm really surprised about Russell Brand, actually. I thought he was pretty liberal and chill, so that does actually surprise me.
Yeah, it did me too, which, let's not forget, like Russell Brand has sort of, his whole shtick has been like Lothario, kind of like sex maniac. He's always playing the kind of like washed up, chill, relaxed hippie dude, but like, free love, like that's his whole fucking thing. And so for him to come out and do this whole thing, it's like, dude, what? Shut the fuck up.
Also, wasn't he married to Katy Perry when she did the California Girls song where she literally has whipped cream cans shooting out of her bra, and she's naked
probably.
with her ass covered in cotton candy?
Yeah.
Not that I'm, like people should be able to do whatever the fuck they want. And it seems like he didn't have a problem when his white girlfriend / wife was doing it, but when two black women do it, then that's when it's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 100%. So that's my kill. And yeah, if you're out there thinking, does the world need another think piece on what a male thinks about WAP? The answer is no. Go die. Kristen, what are you killing this week?
So this is going to be a controversial kill, I believe, for some of our listeners, because this is something that people have really been enjoying of late. But I'm going to have to kill Indian matchmaking. Was not here for it.
Did you finish it?
First of all, no. Did not finish it. Was like fell asleep in like 4 episodes and then was just like, I don't need any more of this. Really, like, I woke up at one point and was so confused because it was completely different people. And then also, it was right as not the main matchmaker, Seema, that they follow in the story, but a different matchmaker was telling the most lovely young woman who I actually really liked on the show. She seemed really quirky and she'd be our friends. But she was telling this woman that this woman needed to be prepared to give up her entire life and all of her life's aspirations if she really wanted to find a man. And the woman, the sweet little, Indian woman that is getting this advice is like, but, and she's like, I'm sure every woman can identify with the millions of times in your life someone's been telling you what you need to do, and you very sweetly grin and shake your head and nod with clenched teeth, and maybe you try once or twice to politely explain your point of view and then get shut down and finally just say okay and move on, probably with with, you know, some of that, you know, resonating within you and causing you to change your behaviors, which sucks that anybody should ever have to do that. But I was just like done with the show after that, because it wasn't presented as like a point of being, you know, they weren't editorializing on the show, so it didn't really take a side on whether the young woman was right or the matchmaker was right. But I don't know. I wasn't here for that show at all, the way everybody else was.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about the things that I liked and did not like about it on our last episode, but I thought you might give it another shot, but it's fine if you didn't. It's not perfect. There are other things out there like Teenage Bounty Hunters and, you know, Britain's Best Home Cook that you can fill your time with that are less problematic than that.
Yeah, I just need to get through Babylon Berlin and Teenage Bounty Hunters and Britain's Next Home Cook before September 4th. Then I'm going to watch Mulan on repeat until September 10th, when I'm going to watch the Abortion Road Trip show.
And that's a show, not a movie, right?
I think I think I'm 99.9. No, damn it! It's a film. It's not a show.
It's a movie.
I mean, it looks like a movie, but that sucks, because that means it's 2 hours as opposed to like 8+.
That's a bummer.
I guess I hadn't thought about the fact that HBO does original films too, and so I was just assuming it was a series. Yeah,
that is a bummer. Although looking here, it does say that it's directed by Rachel Lee Goldenberg, who's a lady. Also in the trailer, it says that it was produced by the producers who created Riverdale. So all my Riverheads, queue up. Let's watch Unpregnant. Also, is Riverheads a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. I just made it up and I feel stupid for saying it, but I don't know what else to call the other people that I know and talk to about Riverdale.
It is now. That's the title of our episode. Riverheads get in formation.
Oh my God, it sounds so sinister. Okay. Solid kill, Kristen. Do you have any honorable mentions?
No, I'm really committed to those this week.
I have 2 honorable mentions and they're very quick. One is Amazon just bought the rights to a new heist movie starring Randall Park from Fresh Off the Boat and Always Be My Maybe, among many other things, and Daniel Day Kim. He's from Lost or Hawaii Five-0, also many other things. And I think that's really exciting. I love a heist movie. I love both those actors. We need more Asian representation in film. Let's fucking get on it. Also, apparently the bidding war was very heated and the bid, I think, was really high that Amazon paid for that movie, which is awesome. And then, so that's a fuck. And then an honorable mention kill for me is I read that Grey's Anatomy, when they eventually come back for their like 100th season, they're going to, quote, dive right into a few months into the pandemic. And I don't watch Grey's Anatomy anymore. I, like many people, watch the first 8-10 seasons, and then we're like, wow, this is really worn out its welcome. So I don't watch it anymore. But the last thing I want for my sort of like narrative escapism content is a show about the hellscape that we are still currently living through. I know this is going to be a thing. I know there's going to be this sort of like glut of, look what we made in quarantine. Look what we made about quarantine. This is a pandemic thing. Like, there's going to be this whole glut of like literature and content that's created around that stuff. And I just, can we just get out of this and then just sort of like put it in our rear view? Maybe 5 to 10 years from now, we're talking about it again, but it's not something that we have to experience or live through again. Like, I don't want to watch Grey's Anatomy and be stuck in the middle of a pandemic when it's still a thing that is like very real and haunting my every single day. Again, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but all my Grey's heads, what do you guys think? That That one has less of a ring to it than Riverheads, but I'm gonna go with it.
I mean, Greyheads.
Yeah.
I can see that. So question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Related but totally unrelated.
Okay.
Would you watch? You'll settle a bet for me.
Okay.
And listeners, dear listeners, if you would like to call in and let us know what you think about this, I will do a little poll and we'll let you know on the next episode what won. But until we hear from all of the folks listening at home, Brandy, I'm curious for your opinions. Would you watch a movie that was a comedy remake of Rear Window, but through COVID, but comedy, like The Burbs? So for those of you who don't know what Rear Window is, like we're all stuck inside for COVID and our protagonist sees what she thinks is a murder in like the next house over through the window, and whoever else is living in the house with her thinks she's going crazy from all like the stir craziness of COVID, and then the plot thickens. But it's hijinks and comedy and a little drama and a little spooky, like The Burbs was.
Yeah. For those of you that may be younger, Shia LaBeouf was in Disturbia. Very similar. Not as good. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I like that kind of tone, like a little macabre comedy. Macomedy, if you will. Ooh, I'm sorry. I hate myself. Kill me. I might, but I don't think I want to watch it soon. Incidentally, there's a movie that got shelved that's like maybe never going to come out. I don't know if we talked about it or not, but it's called The Woman in the Window, and it's essentially it's like a lot like that, but it's not a comedy. It's very much like, this is serious. It's Amy Adams. It's it's a serious, scary, spooky thing. It's not a comedy. But I don't know. I might watch it if it were a comedy. I mean, granted, I still really want to watch The Woman in the Window too, but I might watch that, just not soon.
It's written and directed by Taika Waititi, and it's starring who is it starring? Who would be somebody you couldn't pass up?
Somebody I couldn't pass up? Oh God. I don't know. It's got to be somebody who can really walk that line of,
Oh, here, I got it.
humor.
And it's starring Tom Hanks, and so it's a total callback without being a callback to The Burbs.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and he's also like the modern day Jimmy Stewart, so it's even a better callback to Rear Window too.
Yeah, that's very good. I was going to say Matthew Rhys, HBO's current Perry Mason, is somebody who I currently can't really pass up because I just think that he's perfect at everything. But yeah, I say go full tilt, Tom Hanks. I say that works. Let me know when you talk to Taika, and we'll get it set up.
And I want his wife, since Carrie Fisher is no longer with us, I want his wife to be Tiffany Haddish. There's my casting.
Whoa, fantasy casting for what's the name? It has to have a good name. You need to come back to us with whatever this is called later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much pressure. I got my finger. Because I feel like she would be really great at being skeptical of his crazy, right? Like she would be so hilarious at not believing that there was a murder that he saw. Tiffany Haddish would, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, controversial opinion. I think Tiffany Haddish is an okay actress. I don't know that she's, Tom Hanks level. I think she's a funny person, but casting her in a spooky comedy drama type deal, I don't know, maybe.
She's one of the only people that was ever mean to me during celebrity interviews.
Tiffany Haddish?
Yup.
Why would you cast her in this then?
I just think she'd do a good job.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
And then she'd be
about this.
Then she'd be indebted to me, so it's the ultimate power move.
Yeah, that's fair. We're gonna talk offline about why she was mean to you. Woof. Okay, well, those are my 2 honorable mentions. And that's it for the show this week. Did we miss your favorite or least favorite thing? What are you FMKing this week? Give us a call and let us know, or give us a cool prompt, something that we can talk about, an icebreaker type deal. Our phone number is 805-628-BOOP. That's 805-628-2667. Leave us a voicemail and we might just play it on the show, y'all.
That's it for the show this week, guys. Thanks for listening. If you don't already, please be sure to subscribe to Pop Culture FMK on Instagram and Twitter, and to check us out at popculturefmk.com. And while you're at it, tell one friend about the pod this week. Bye.
We love you. Stay safe. Bye.